The importance of metta, loving kindness. Remember, there's another word that I prefer to use. What word is that? It's compassionate. Compassionate love. Compassionate love. It's a very powerful force. In fact, I would like to share with you before I proceed with the discourse proper. I'll share with you a little example coming back. Some of you perhaps knew that I had delayed my return to Kuala Lumpur. Some of you know only one cause. That you might have heard that I had fallen down and broken or half broke one rib. I had a fractured rib. That was only part of the cause of my delay in returning. But another important cause, and a more dominant cause of my continued stay in Sri Lanka was the meeting of this very special monk. I had been traveling, meeting with various teachers in various parts of the world, even before I was ordained. I have been traveling, I think, more than 30 countries and meeting various teachers. Whenever I hear that there is some good masters, good teachers around, I like to go and visit. First I will go and visit and pay my respect first. And after that, I will just listen to what he or she has to say. Whether Buddhist or not, even those great, there are some famous people in America. People like Dr. J.B. Rye, founder of parapsychology. We actually went to his house and knocked at his door without any appointment. Another one was people like Krishnamurti. I've heard a lot about him in my travels. I attended one of his talks at the University of Berkeley in California. About 12,000 people attended his talks there. And then, some years back in 1981, I was just around the vicinity in Switzerland, and I heard that Krishnamurti is around in Sarnen. That's the place where he conducts his annual meetings in Switzerland. Krishnamurti is very well known in the West. Maybe in Malaysia, Singapore, not so well known. And they say it's very difficult to meet him. So I said, never mind. If he is a truly spiritual person, I don't think he needs appointments. I will go and see. Only big business people need appointment. I think you all know. Chief Reverend don't need appointment to come and see him. If you come and see him, he is there. If he's busy, you come again. He doesn't give you any appointment. And such is the nature of truly people who are dedicated to serve men. So, when I went there, I went to the camp where he was supposed to teach. He was not there. They say he has gone to Shelley Tanek. So I went up. And there I saw his Italian maid, an Italian woman there, looking after the Shelley. I had only a smattering of Italian. I just say, Parle Italiano. This woman suddenly heard, look at a foreigner speaking this, Italian, but her heart was open. And the man who accompanied me spoke. He was a Swiss, but he spoke perfect Italian. After that, he carried on. Then this maid was so happy. He says, what can I do for you? I says, we have come to meet Krishnamurti. Is he here? She says, yes, he is in. Come in. So we went in. Soon after we got in, we sat down. And the message has been relayed to him, Krishnamurti, that we are around. Then came the secretary, American secretary. When she came in, she saw us there. She says, where are you from? And we say, well, we are from here, and we have come to see Krishnamurti. He says, no. And, but he is busy. And we say, no. He says he's coming down. So, it's the secretaries that makes it difficult to me. So sometimes, you must know how to get past them. Once you get past them, you meet them. And actually, he is very warm. He has warmth, that guy, Those were his last few years before he passed away. Very warm person. I personally felt him. And so, it is in that manner that I met these different teachers, and I see the marks of certain teachers. Some masters do not talk a lot. Some masters speak a lot. They have overflowing kindness. They will talk. So this trip in Sri Lanka, I had postponed coming back after I had met this, I must say, a great teacher. After I had traveled in various parts of Sri Lanka, I could not find. I know many monks who are social workers, but I did not know of monks who were great meditators and trainers until just the day before my scheduled return. It was on a Saturday that I met this monk. Sunday I was supposed to fly back. After meeting him, he spoke immediately. As soon as we met, Sister Sumitra was with me, and he started talking to us as if instructing us what to do. No introduction needed. Never asked me where I come from and who are you. No. Straight away he went to the Dhamma. And straight away he answered the questions in our mind. How he knew it, we did not know. Then we looked. Only a few minutes needed. And I said, all right. We will postpone. I asked him, can we learn from you? He says, yes. Then he said, yes. So immediately we said, okay, we will postpone our trip. 4:30 in the afternoon, we went, telephone, and canceled the flight. That's how. First postponed. Then we practiced as he instructed us to practice. And we realized, we verified whatever he said. In fact, sometimes he tells us something first. After we practice, we realize what he said was true. And then comes the knowledge, the memory, what I had learned in the texts, in the suttas, quite some years back. Then I suddenly recalled, this was what the Buddha said. And I realized, this must be true. Because I have heard people saying that this master will train his pupils, whoever comes to him and willing to be trained, he will put them on and teach them how to develop their concentration, get them to the first level of absorption, second, third, fourth, and after that teaches them how to silence the mind. And then systematically puts them on to activate insight to arise in the mind, to realize, to get the insight knowledge with regards to mind and body, name and form, nama, rupa, hetu, paccaya, cause and effect, to see things in terms of cause and effect, and then to relate to the impermanent nature of things. And then, with these knowledges, with these insights, you get into the path and friction. First level of sainthood, second level, third level, fourth. It is like that. Difficult to believe, but can be verified. And with this, after having sinned, how it can be done, we decided to postpone another week. And this time, because we were invited to travel and to have a retreat with all his trained disciples. And all of them were women. I was the only male monk besides him. All others were women. They were very well trained. They had the insight, the power to see things, power to hear what ordinary humans cannot hear. Why? The power to see things with their eye, with their wisdom eye. This is something which I verified it myself. After the fall that I had, I felt it was a crack. But the doctors who examined me says, nothing wrong. I was sent by ambulance to the hospital. They took an X-ray. The doctor seen the X-ray and said, nothing wrong. So I went back. But after that, what happened was, the pain was so strong that I can hardly turn my body. And I knew there was something wrong. See, despite what the doctors had to say. For 12 hours I remained seated on a chair, facing in the direction of the great Ruan Valley, there in Anuradhapura. Then the nun came together with another woman, well developed. They came, they knew that I had this pain, and they just looked at me. Immediately I looked at them, I knew that they were trying to see where the problem was. They could see the body so clearly. I allowed them. They could see where the crack was, where the fracture was, and where the bone had come out. Just using the mind power, they fix it up, put it together. After that, the pain reduced. I could stand, I could turn. The pain was there, but I could turn it around. That's how I verified what they said. Whether you believe it or not, but I believe it. You see? So it is possible. These things are possible. But these psychic powers are dangerous if your minds are not properly trained. In the case of these women, their minds are well trained. It is after they have developed, after they have fully controlled craving and aversion, then the master allows them to develop the other extra abilities to help others. That's what the Buddha did. So this world today is not emptied of noble ones, is not emptied of arhats. Although some people say that according to this time, this era, there cannot be arahats, there can be only Sotapanna or Sakadagami. Have you heard of those things? Yes, some of you might have heard of these things. And some of you have heard that story that If a person attained to Arahant, he or she cannot stay more than 7 days in the household life. Have you heard of that? Yes, one or two of you have heard of that. Those of you who have not heard of it, then you don't have to hear it. If ever you hear it, forget about it. It is not true. These are just hearsays. Although it may be in the commentaries and sub-commentaries. Understand? So, the path to deliverance, the Buddha had very clearly said, after the Buddha gained his enlightenment, the Buddha made that declaration and said, the path to deliverance, the gate to deathlessness is open to all. It is still open. If you want to free yourself from all sufferings. Do you want to free yourself from all suffering? Do you? Just show me your hands. How many of you really want to get rid of all sufferings? One. Again, high up please. High up please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah, yes. Thank you. Thank you. I have some idea now. Okay. If you really want to free yourself from all suffering, you can. Are you ready? The basis of success is this. 4 things you must have. 1. You must have what we call chanda. Chanda is that aspiration, the aim in mind. That aspiration, the goal to end suffering, that must be in your mind. Then, second thing, virya. You must have the energy and the effort to pursue your goal, your aim, your aspiration. Understand? Third condition. Chitta. In this case, it is the one-mindedness. That concentrated mind, one-mindedness to work towards that aspiration, fulfilling that aspiration. One-mindedness. Not this way, not that way. Huh? Just straight, put that in your mind, work towards it, direct it. Then, fourth condition. Vimamsa. The power, the ability to discern, to reflect, to contemplate on whatever object of concentration that you have before you. You must be able to discern, you must be able to contemplate, you must be able to reflect. Not just making the wish, I wish I will end all suffering. And then after that, you go and sleep. Huh? And you get up and you feel very uncomfortable, and because, you want to sleep more. How come I still suffering? No. These are the 4 conditions. In fact, whether in the academic field or whether in the spiritual field, these are the 4 bases of success. That's what the Buddha preached. So the first important thing is to have that aspiration and that determination. You must make the determination. That's what I spoke about last week, last Friday. That you are here as the result of the determination, the thought that had arisen in your mind that you wanted to come here. Right? You are still here sitting down because the thought in your mind to tell you to sit and listen. Right? If at any time another thought arises in your mind that says, I have enough, I'm going back now, then you will go back soon. That is the nature of how the thought conditions your body. Sometimes you cannot see these things because your mind, all the lines in your mind fully engaged. While you are listening to me, you have some other things in your mind. Some other thing thinking about, what's now happening at home. And television program, do not know I put on the video or not. Whether, Some people don't want to miss the television program now, so they have the video they put in there, they program it so that they can see. So all these things are happening in your mind while you are listening. Stop. That's why you cannot see how your mind functions clearly. Silence your mind. Calm down your mind. After you have learned how to calm down your mind, then you will be able to see the workings of your mind, your own mind. It's only when you can understand how your mind functions, how your mind works, then you will be able to understand how other person's mind functions. Then you can train them, then you can tame them, then you can live in peace and harmony with them. Very often, parents, teachers try to teach their children and pupils, do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. But they have not trained themselves. Yes. So that's why others do not know how to follow them. Train your mind first. If you really want the happiness, and if you really wish, now look today what people are doing. It's still Chinese New Year. They still put up their hand and says, Happy New Year, I wish you a happy, prosperous New Year. That wish has come from where? From the lip or from the heart? Very often people do this thing just for the sake of doing only. Happy New Year. And I watch their face. Because their face, especially their eyes, are the index to their mind. Look in. But sometimes you can see they are not yet empty. That means in their minds they have some thing. Happy New Year, But while saying Happy New Year, in their mind they have something else. They want to make friends for some other thing. Usually people only come to another to make friends because they have something to gain. If they have nothing to gain, they don't want to make friends. This is the nature of the worldly. Do you realize this? But there are still people around who are willing to go around, with that emptiness in them. Then they are prepared to make friends without expecting anything in return. These are the truly noble ones. Seek them, associate with them, then you will be able to grow. Know them well. So, upon meeting this master is one who takes people, those who have that determination, that aspiration to put an end to suffering. He makes them right. If you have that determination, go before the Buddha. Where is the Buddha? There is only the image. You think when we bow before the Buddha, we bow before the image? No. The real Buddha is behind the image. The real Buddha. We use this image so that our mind is focused. We focus our mind and think of the great master. The great master who has worked his way to salvation through his own efforts, without any master, without any teacher, through his own efforts. And such a one we call the Samma Sambuddha. He was an Arahat, he was a Samma Sambuddha. He was a worthy one. Why is he called an Arahat and a worthy one? Because his mind was free from greed, free from craving, free from hatred, free from delusion. His mind was totally freed from that. Freed from all the bad habits, all the unwholesome tendencies. Such a one, if you can think in this manner, then not only to recite and say, now you have the book before you and you say, Tipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijatana Sampanno Sugato Loka Vidyanattaroga. You do not know what you are reciting. You have no feeling for it. You may say, Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. You have no feeling at all. Then it's a ritual. You are doing it only a ritual. Understand? But that ritual is important for you to grow. Don't throw that ritual. It's important for you. It's a learning phase. But you don't stop there. There is a saying that when you do the right thing again and again, even though you do not know what you are doing, it will lead you to the right course. Understand? So I'm not discouraging you. We are not discouraging you not to learn those chanting by heart. Do it. Now after you have learned, the next stage is to put the meaning. Translate. While you are doing it, think, reflect on it. With the meaning, with the idea in your mind, so that you have the feeling when you are paying your homage before the Buddha, you think of the Buddha, and you have that feeling come up to your mind. And that's how you learn to generate energy. Wholesome thoughts, good thoughts, kusala chitta, they help you to strengthen your mind. They help you to elevate your mind, uplift the mind, and you can experience it yourself. When you feel very low, you feel very depressed, you feel very hopeless, you have despair. After you have tried various ways, you failed in various ways, then sometimes the thought comes, better to die. Before you die, if you can, make a visit here, or the nearest temple that you can go and look at the Buddha. It will be so good. And in most cases, if not all, you will postpone it. Look at the serenity of the Buddha. Look at the serenity. Look at the calm and serene face of the Buddha. Right? Whether you have learned anything or not, that's why this image is there. Actually, the image of the Buddha represents perfect geometry. If the sculptor is one who knows geometry, otherwise he distorts the figure of the Buddha. Buddha figure, perfect geometry. When I was in Athens, in Greece, in 7 days I gave 6 talks in different places. Then, in the group, there were some professors, lecturers, and this one was an initiated follower of Pythagoras. He had listened to my talk, and he saw how I gave the teachings of the Buddha, 4 Noble Truths, this. Noble Eightfold Path, like that. And these Noble Eightfold Paths again divided into the 3. Sila, Samadhi, Panya, morality, concentration, wisdom. And immediately he saw the rectangle because he was a professor of mathematics. So he thinks in terms of rectangle, triangle, prism. Then he said, that's geometry, he said. You teach that. That's Pythagoras' teachings. So he saw that. He was so happy. When the talk was over, he took me to his car. He says, come, he says. He says, there are only 25 persons here in this world that have been initiated into the lineage of Pythagoras' teachings. Now I will give it to you. Then he gave it. Oral tradition. That's what you call the mystic tradition. The word mystic in Malaysia and Singapore and in this part of the world is not a very good word. But in the West, when they say he is a mystic, that means he is a very spiritual person. Understand? A Jewish mystic is one who is no longer clinging just by the word of the Bible. One who knows the word, knows the spirit, and has transcended that. That is a mystic. That's a true mystic. I have had the opportunity to associate with Jewish mystics and learn from them the Bible, the Torah, and the Kabbalah. And they have no controversies. When we talk about karma, rebirth, they accepted it very well. Later on, they tell me their rebirth stories in the Hasidic stories. Then there is nothing to preach to them. That's how we became friends. After that, we studied the parallels of it. When I talked about the 4 stages of sainthood, then they told me the 4 stages of, they also have 4 stages. Before they attain to salvation. Then what is there to talk about? So you see the parallels, but not those who go just by the letter of the book. Those who have learned the book, understood the meaning, realized the essence of it, and they have transcended it, and their interpretation they gave, at a higher level. Like, for example, those who talked about the Almighty Creator God. This is something that we are afflicted again and again. Everybody asks about this God. Why is it that the scriptures, certain scriptures, have given that place is almighty, all-knowing, omniscience, omnipresent, omnipotent, all-powerful, all-knowing, all-present. Understand? They have elevated him to such a great height. Why? What is the purpose? Now, when you compare yourself with that great being, what are you? You are nothing. You are nothing. You are like dust. The Lord is almighty. The Lord is great. We are nothing. What is this teaching for? Tell me. What does this teaching teach us to be? What? What does it teach us to be? Anybody? Humble. Humble. It teaches us to be humble. To give up the self. That's how you can realize selflessness. You can realize that. If you know it. If you take it literally, then you get stuck. Understand? So there are this kind of mystic teachings in the world today. They come from great masters. That monk who came with me, with whom we studied, his insight was so vast. He said, Buddhism can be realized by anyone, not necessarily Buddhists. He verified this. How did he verify it? One girl had come from Mexico. She came to do a course in Sri Lanka, but somehow or other she could not fit in that course properly. So she turned to another course, and somebody suggested her that she did do some meditation course. So she came and she practiced meditation. And in a matter of days, she started to develop. First stage, second stage, third stage, fourth stage of absorption, and came down. And after that, just before we left, she entered the stream. Now, you may ask, how do you know that she has entered the stream? You see, there are various ways, different ways to verify. One, from the teachings of the Buddha. The Buddha had said, if you want to know, these are the fetters that a stream winner breaks, right? Firstly, one who breaks the fetter of self-delusion, sakkaya ditthi, vicikicca, silappata paramasa. Vicikicca, silappata paramasa. These are the 3 fetters. The first 3 fetters, the being breaks this fetter. In other words, it is no longer bonded by these three fetters. The delusion of the I and the mind, thinking that there is something in this being as I and mine. Understand? And thinking that you must go through certain ritual in order to liberate yourself. You must go through some rite, some pattern of certain religion. Some people hold fast these values. You must know exactly the way how to turn, how to chant, how to walk, how many steps to take forward, and then how many steps backward, how many steps to jump, and so on. Otherwise you cannot clear the hurdle, they say. Now this is not. This is what you call clinging to rites and rituals. Then the third one is doubts. Doubts about what? Doubts about enlightenment of the Buddha. Doubts about oneself, what was one in the past, the future. Doubts about even the present, what am I now? Now these kind of doubts, when these things are freed from the minds, you can check it for yourself. And that's one way to check whether you have these things or not. The other way is by making certain determination. After you have practiced well, then you make certain determination that if you have entered this dream, then let me realize the fruition. Let me realize the bliss of fruition for so many minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. Determine that and see where your mind goes. Don't do anything, just see where your mind goes. Then you will know where you are. If you have realized, you will know. If you have not realized, your mind still vibrates, going here and there. Then go on practicing. Understand? There is a certain way to test. It's very clear. To know your own mind. So, in this manner, gives advice for people who wishes to tread in the path to overcome suffering, some daily routine, daily religious routine, which you can do it in your own home. This daily routine should be aimed at activating certain levels of your consciousness for you to develop insight. Now, take the first thing. Contemplate on the virtues, on the qualities of the Buddha, Buddhanusati. Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vidyācarana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisadhammasarati sattha deva manusanam buddho bhagavat. 9 virtues of the Buddha. Those of you who have been following regularly this class, you would have heard about this. Then reflect on it again and again until your mind is absorbed and you get the feeling that there is such a being who is that. Then what you are doing is you are activated, you have activated your mind to arouse the mind to a certain level of consciousness. Then what you are doing is you are activated, you have activated your mind to arouse the mind to a certain level of consciousness, not any ordinary level anymore. Now, at this level, your concentrated level, you have a certain level of concentration. But when you raise your level of concentration, then the next thing to do is to reflect on the nature of your body, because it is the clinging to the body, it is our clinging to our own bodies that has given rise to all kinds of pain and suffering to oneself and to others. Desire, lustful desire, craving for form. These are the things that disturbs the minds of men and women in this world, that pushes them, driven by this craving force, lustful desires, drives them bang on, head on pleasures anywhere. And making mistakes after mistakes, more and more suffering, multiplying their problems from one, keep on multiplying. Now, how can we reduce this? How can we reduce this? If you want to be free from suffering, you must learn how to reduce these craving tendencies. The craving for food, the craving for seeing beautiful things, the craving for hearing very nice music. It's not wrong to hear nice music. But when you have more and more craving for this, you have to spend more and more money. Now the tapes are getting more and more expensive also. And those records go out of date very quickly. And not only that, the more you cling to listen, to see things, to please your eyes, to please your ears, what happens is, you are sure you're going to develop. The more you utilize your eye organ and ear organ, you are going to activate those sensory organs. Then they're going to become very well developed, no? That's how you can take the form of the bat, or the cat, or the dog, powerful smelling, powerful ear, Alsatian dog. There is no wonder if you develop those faculties. What is it that distinguishes the human being from all other animals? It's the faculty to think, the faculty to develop this mind. And that is it that's going to differentiate you from all other beings, if you want to be born as human beings. If you want to be born as a cat, use your eyes at night more and more. And go and catch more rats. You sure come back as a cat. But maybe you'll come to the temple cat. That's why we have temple cats, and they also bow. They have some past habits also, But because of the clinging, the form, they have developed certain faculties that we do not have, that human beings do not possess. So we don't look down upon these animals. Right? The dogs can hear something that we cannot hear. Like you strain your ear to develop to be able to distinguish all the different pitch. This pitch, this is alpha, this is that, what is that? I do not know. I have long given up, so I cannot maintain the same pitch the same time. That's why I'm not good in chanting. If anybody hears me chant and tape me chanting, one time I give another pitch, another time I give another pitch. At the same time I have different pitch because, I have not valued those so much. So if people spend time more and more, then they activate that. Now, what is important if you want to free your mind is to activate your mind. That is why we call close the senses, silence the senses. That's what restraint is for. That's what sila is. Then your mind becomes sharp. Your mind becomes sharp. Then you can activate this mind. So that's why we close our eyes. We shut our eyes. Whatever sound that comes to us, we hear and just let go of it. And then concentrate. Just concentrating on the qualities of the Buddha, we raise our level of energy. That's what we call saddha, the first mental faculty of the mind, confidence, to arouse confidence in the mind. Confidence is an energy, mental energy. Then we think of the body. Analyze your body from the head, from the hair of the head right down. Analyze the body, however you wish to analyze them. The Buddha has given the formula. Ati masmin kaye kesa loma naka danta tacho mangsang naharu atti minjang wakang hadayang kilomakang piyakang papasang and so on. Buddha has analyzed them into 32 different parts, the solid and the liquid parts of the body. They were done in the manner of the Indian science. At that time, medical science in India had analyzed the body into these different parts, the solid and the liquid parts of the body. So, by a certain formula, you recite those formula, and while you are reciting, then you contemplate, reflect on them. When you are reciting kesa, hair of the head, visualize, remove all your hair and put it in front of you. Can you see it? Not with your open eyes. If you open eyes, you see something else. Close your eyes, visualize, take out the hair, put it in front of you and see. Train your mind until you can see. Close your eyes, you can see. Then, if you cannot see it, at least at the thought level, work at the thought level. Because when your mind becomes calm, what happens is, the nature of your mind, when your mind becomes calm and clear, whatever thought that you introduce to this mental stream, you see the picture very well. That's how you dream, you know. That's how you make up your daydream. First you think, how nice if I get a windfall, first prize lottery or lotto. Then you close your eyes and you want to lie down a little bit. Wonderful life. Then you start seeing things, right? Who says you cannot see things with your eyes closed? I'm sure you can see things. The only thing, you cannot control what you see. Then when you open your eyes, you find that you are not what you had dreamt. Then you feel very sad. Because you find that you have no money. In your dream you have multi. You're a millionaire. I see. But some psychologists, you know, encourage this kind of fantasy feelings in order to get rid of the depression. But Buddhist psychology does not do that. Buddhist psychology wants you to see things in reality. Train your mind to see the real things. Right? Aim at the reality of things and see how it rise and fall, change, nothing. Take out your hair and see, and how. Contemplate and see. If you cannot do that, Then you take your photographs, all the past year's photographs, line them up and says, when I was young, my hair was like this, curved that way. Now this one like that. Now this one like that. Now this one like that. Now, the color has changed, and now certain parts drop, certain parts maybe, becoming bald. And when this hair falls down, and falls down to my breakfast, plate, very nice? Not nice. Disgusting. Disgusting. But when it's there hanging, when you touch it, you say, oh, very nice, very nice, very nice. Very smooth. That same hair falls onto the soup and your kway teow, wonton mein there, you find 2 or 3 strands of hair. You don't want to eat. You don't want to eat. Why? Your wife will say, yesterday you say it's very beautiful. How come you don't want to eat? So you can see how. This is what you call delusion. When it is in a mess, when you don't see it clearly, one by one, you think it's very beautiful. When you take it out and start to analyze it, you see its real nature. It's just like a wire, a piece of wire. They are dead cells, if you know it. Then why must you spend so much money to, change the form of these dead cells? To curl it this way, to curl it that way, and spend so much money on dead cells? They are dead bodies already. The cells that you see, the hair that you see, they are dead bodies. Dead, gone. We cut it and throw away. Those of you who go to the perm parlor, they also cut, and after that the hair they throw away. They don't keep. No value. At least some of the, what you call the animals' fur have value. Human hair has no value. So contemplate on this. This is disgusting. No value. Change, constantly changing. Until you activate your mind to see how the hair grows and falls. And return to the earth element just then. Can you do that? After that, from the hair of the head, then tackle the hair of the body. Because these are the things that have arisen all kinds of thoughts, all kinds of desires in your mind. But when you remove them all and place them, they are of different shapes, different sizes, right? And see whether it's beautiful or not. No beauty. Smelly. If you don't wash them, those ticks and louds can be in there. You have seen some places people try to pull the kutu from the hair. That is the nature of the hair, right? Dandruff grows on it, you see. Now when you recall these things, then what you are doing is you are activating your mind. Slowly you are activating the elements of what you call letting go, giving up this body, giving up this body, giving up this body, and seeing this body is changing, not to cling to it, no? And it leads to suffering. It is no self, there is no self, there is no being in this hair. From the time you cut the hair, shave your head, the hair starts to grow. Because how does it grow? From the food that you eat, the elements start to nourish this hair, and then it grows. Then after that you cut it, you throw it to the ground, then it goes back to the ground. Where is yourself? Where is the self? Where is I? Where is mine? In the hair. There is no I, there is no mind. Where is the soul in the head? No. So go on, contemplate this. Keep on dividing this body. The nails, your teeth, you think it's very nice. When somebody smiles at you, you change, your heart change color. Change your heart when you see the teeth smiling. But stop for a little while. Remove that full set of teeth before you and put and see. You need to take deep breath. Sometimes you need to stop your breathing because it's so smelly. And look at the holes, look at the fillings that he has, and the gaps in between. Is it beautiful? Beautiful? Where is beauty? In your teeth? Go on. Not beautiful. Disgusting. Changing, falling down, growing and falling down. Realize this. Then that's how you activate your mind to see the true nature of the body. From the hair of the head, the hair of the body, your nails, your teeth, and the skin. These 5 things are the externalities, the external parts of the body. At the most that you can see one another, these 5 things. And these 5 things are all dead bodies. They are all dead cells. Those who learn biology will know it. What's so great about it? So keep on. After that, if you are not satisfied with that, then you go deeper aspects of your body. The flesh. Put the flesh before you. Take a pound of flesh from any part of your body and place in front of you. If you cannot, just imagine this flesh like a pound of flesh from the butcher shop placed in front of you, smeared with blood vessels there. Smell it. Good to see? Keep it for a little while. See how it smells. Leave it in the open. See how the flies come. Leave for a few days. See how the worms come. This is flesh of the body. Worthless. At least the pork's flesh is more worth. But the human flesh, not worth. Keep on contemplating until remove the kidney, remove the liver, remove the heart. Don't cut, dissect. Just remove it with your mind. Do you know, people ask me about killing. When we talk about the first precept of killing in the schools and universities, many students come and ask, Venerable, you say not to kill, but we who do biology, we have to kill animals, to dissect them, to learn all these different parts. Well, I say, well, you have to do it. You have to do it, do it. If you want to learn it, be prepared to face the consequences. I faced the consequences. I knew when I had to kill the toads and frogs in experiments. While I started to kill them, I started to kill myself too. The chloroform that I put, I breathed in also. A few cells died. But because this body is stronger, it grows quicker. So I did not die, but the cells, certain parts of the cells die. You see? And while you're cutting, the formalin, the formaldehyde, and all that still comes, the poison you breathe in. No wonder sometimes people died. Right? So, we are not discouraging you, but we really discourage you from killing. Then you can see the nature of this body. The Buddha did not do this. In the ancient times, the Buddha did not need to dissect bodies. Understand? What they did was give their minds to a certain level, tune the mind in, look in the body, and see these different parts of the body. That's it. You can do it when you train your mind. You will see these different parts of the body. You will know what part of the body is wrong. That's the... So, those ancient science did not use those things. But because today, man's mind cannot penetrate into this body, because the mind has become so much busybodied, going out all the different bodies but not into their own body. They do not know even their own body. Not even their own breathing. They do not know how they breathe in and breathe out. They were not aware of their own breath. But they try to find out so many things about the outside world. That's what you call the mind going out, sending out. Bring in, bring in, bring in. If you want to strengthen your mind, bring in, bring in, bring in. Simplify your life, bring in. Restrain your senses, bring in your mind, see it clearly. Then you will realize, then you will see. When you activate your mind in this manner, very soon, not so long time, your mind, as soon as the thought of craving and lust arises, what you have fed your mind, the antidote that you have given, kills them. Kills this thought of lust and craving. Understand? As soon as the thought of lust arises due to some form, immediately your contemplation, that which you had contemplated, arises, it checks them. So you check craving and lustful desires. On the other hand, anger. How do you check that anger? With the practice of loving kindness or metta. Anger, hatred, cannot be overcome by hatred. Anger can only be overcome by love. That's how we can overcome. And this is what the Buddha taught here. This is how to overcome anger. The tendencies of getting angry. And immediately you feel like getting angry. What do? Inject this medicine to your mind. May I be free from anger. That is the antidote. It's very logical. It's very scientific. Because it is your mind that has given the command, now be angry. Right? It is your mind that has given the command, because somebody has spoken something that you do not like to hear, then suddenly your mind has a reason, why did he say like that? Now your mind is reacting to that. So the only way is to tell the mind, now free yourself from anger. Anger conditions grudge, enmity. When you get angry with that person, you don't stop there. You start to think, next time, I don't want to talk to him anymore. I don't want to see him anymore. That the grudge starts to. And that grudge starts to develop ill will. You start to think harm. You have some harm. You wish that person harm. That's what you call ill will. The subtle aversion, the subtle dislike grows, makes stronger and stronger, stronger and stronger. In the Buddhist vocabulary, there are many words which means the same thing as anger and craving. Craving alone, there are, I think, 11 different words for craving. Just as in France, there are many words to describe the taste of wine, but you do not know what. We don't have this one. If we ask you to taste it, you only know sweet, sour, bitter. But the French connoisseurs, those who are expert in tasting wines, they will tell you this taste, this taste, this taste, this taste. They have a whole list of words. The Buddha have a whole list of vocabulary for different kinds of anger, different kinds of craving in the mind, different shades of it. He has that. And that's the beauty of the language. Of course, we don't have different words for taste, because the Dhamma is for this purpose, to reduce, to simplify, so as to develop this mind. Then, metta is that force, right? So when you have developed contemplation on the body, then turn your mind. In case there is any aversion towards your body, now start to contemplate on metta and have loving kindness to your body. Why do people get sick? Because they hate their body. Do you realize that? Why do you get gastric? Because you don't like your body very much. Your body tells you, I'm hungry, hungry, hungry. You say, keep quiet. He says, I have work to do. Can't you see I'm still typing this? I have not finished my program. You wait. You deprive the body. You have not done your duty towards your body. Until your body says, all right, in that case, I'll go on strike. I produce all this gastric juice for you. Take it. Then you feel the pain. The pain is only the symptom that the body has gone on, got very angry with you. A way to solve it. I have done this. When I was in Thailand for 3 months, when I saw my master fasting, I too started to fast. But before fasting, I started to program my body. I talked to my body, because I have heard of some great masters, Chinese masters, who actually talk to their body. So there was nobody. That's why it's good to live alone, you see, when you are meditating, when you are practicing. Otherwise people think you are mad. I don't really talk it aloud, but I sit and tell my body, now body, you will cooperate with my mind. Today, I have given you enough food. I've been feeding you for the last 40 over years. Today, please cooperate with me. I'm not going to give you that much food, just enough for you. And make good use of it, absorb it well. Then after that, I take only little food. After that, I start to feel hungry. Then I say to my mind, when I feel that hunger in my sitting, I feel the hunger rising, I said, be patient. Be patient. Can you wait tomorrow morning? I'll give you tomorrow morning something. Goes away. Then after that, again it comes. So when it comes, if it's too strong, then okay. Right, I'll give you some water now. Be contented. That goes. And then at one time, I took the wrong food. Because of lack of mindfulness, there was some contamination. I took the wrong food and I had a lot of wind in my stomach. The wind was so much bothering me. I sat quietly and said, body, stomach, intestine, sorry. It's my fault. I was not mindful. I had taken these things. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Now normalize your function. Do you know, after a little while, the pain goes away? You can remove a lot of toxics from your body if you know to get to a level. But remember when to get rid of toxics. Yeah. Keep to your mind, and then after that, broadcast it to all the cells in your body, the millions and trillions of cells in the body. Now, discharge, remove this poison from the body. Tell them, order them. They do it. They carry out the function. That is, if you have trained your mind. Train your mind. This is power. In America, they have developed this. Those of you who have met that American monk who had stayed here for a little while at Subang Jaya, he knows this method. He can heal people from many problems just by suggesting to them, by metta, apologizing to the body, sorry, I have, People say, when you develop your metta towards the body, then are you not egocentric? Are you not... No. You will have to look after your body. Remember that the body is not yours. Attayattanonati, the self is not yours. Do you realize that? From the time you were born, this body is continually dying. The cells in your body are dying. From the time you sit here, you know how many cells have died? How many cells in your body have died? Hundreds, thousands, millions of them have died. New ones have come up. Others have died. How can you call it yourself? How can you call this body mine? And in the end, when you die, where does the body go to? Can you hold fast to say, oh, this is my body? That's what they have been trying to do. Egyptians tried to do that. The great, warlords in China tried to do that. Mummified them. But their mind went somewhere else, leaving their body there. You see? No, cannot. You see? So this body will eventually return to the earth, return to nature. That's what. If you look again, good encyclopedia, the meaning of nature, you will find nature is omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. That's what we call nature, Dhamma. Dhamma is nature. What the Buddha taught as Dhamma, nature. Buddha realized the Dhamma. Realized what Dhamma? Realized the Dhamma, realized the law of nature, how we can live according to this law of nature and how to live in harmony with nature. That's how we can have peace. That's how we can put our mind and heart together and live together one. You have heard of the expression, put your mind and soul together, right? We use put your mind and heart together. Very often in the translation, you say, where is the mind? In the Abhidharma teachings it says, Hardaya Dhatu. It is, the base is in the heart. So some people think, oh, the mind is in the heart. No. When you have developed your mind, when you experience that bliss, your mind, your consciousness naturally settles down to your heart, still, in that deep stillness. You can think, you can talk. As soon as you finish your thought and thinking, it just settles down in the quietness. That is the real peace of mind. Nothing can bother you. Even if it bothers you, a little while it vibrates, it will settle down to your heart. That's the Buddhist philosophy of mind and heart. So sometimes people use these words as synonymous, but actually it is at the experiential level that one can experience how the mind and the heart to be together. So, develop these qualities. Metta. Now, go in this discourse, another 5 more minutes. In this discourse of Metta Sutta, the Buddha says clearly, given this instruction, that those who wish to practice metta, first, to get the maximum benefit from it, develop those qualities, the 14 qualities mentioned, which we have talked about last week. After you have developed those qualities, then this is the instruction the Buddha gave. Number 4. Number 3. The last virtue. Nachukudang samachare kinchi yena vinyo pare upavadeyung. Buddha says, one should be virtuous to the extent that he is free to do any slight wrong, that others, other wise people might censure, might blame him. Understand? Then, when these qualities are being developed, or have been developed, or you are still developing this, then parallelly you can develop the other. This instruction the Buddha gave. Sukhino va kemino hontu sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta. Very beautiful it says. May all beings be happy, be safe, be secure. May their hearts be wholesome. Just say that in your mind again and again. Sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta. May all beings be wholesome. See, their hearts be wholesome. Their hearts be wholesome. Always use the word heart here, be wholesome. Why? When you develop your mindfulness, your awareness, when you get angry, look and see where you experience the pain first. You will experience the pain in your heart. Whenever there is envy and jealousy in you, when that arises in your mind, you will experience the pain first in your heart. Very painful. That's why many people die of heart attack. Right. I too will die of heart attack one day. It's the easiest way out and a fast way, clean way. But it will be from overusing it. Like Chief Reverend, not out of anger and jealousy and envy. He has reduced that to a very great extent. Sometimes some kind of, agitation comes up. But he overused his heart. because too many people come to see him and he keeps on giving his heart away here and there, here and there, here and there. And that's why he has to go for replacement and, Right. Then, after those virtues are there, then you develop this heart. May all beings be happy and safe. May their hearts be wholesome. Actually, when all these virtues are well developed, these things naturally will arise in your mind. This thought will naturally arise in your mind. Understand? Then, ye kechi pana bhutati tasava thavarava anavasesa digava ye mahantava mattima rasakanakatula. Whatsoever beings there may be, feeble or strong, long, stout or medium, short, small or large, seen or unseen, may they be well and happy. This is how we don't discriminate people simply because he's big size and he's another one small size. Here the strong and feeble here refer to the mind. Some people are feeble-minded. Those strong-minded, the Aryan, the noble ones. The feeble ones are the worldlings, still attached to various kinds of material things. So we still have loving kindness, whether he has already developed his mind or still trying to develop. We must give our loving kindness to them. Then, dittava yeva aditta yechadure vasanti avidure bhutava sambhavesi va sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta. Those dwelling far or near, those who are born and those who are to be born, may all beings without exception be happy-minded. Now, this stanza is important. It has given rise, many scholars have gone into this stanza to prove certain doctrines in the teachings of the Buddha. Dittava yeva ditta yechadure vasanti avidure. Here is very easy. Dittava yeva aditta. Ditta means see. Beings that you can see, beings that you cannot see. Adittava. Yechadure vasanti avidure. Far or near, that you can understand. Bhutava sambhavesiva. Bhuta, beings that are born. Sambhavesiva, beings yet to be born. This has given rise to some scholars having the interpretation that there is another level of being, a place, intermediate place where being not yet reborn, but they are in that. But here in this discourse, what is meant here is beings not yet born means still in the mother's womb. Not yet born. Understand? Then, sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta. May all beings without exception be well and happy. Have this. This is how, when you radiate your thought, this kind of thought. This is what the Buddha advised, how we can develop our loving kindness, metta. Na paro parang nikubeta, nati manyeta katachinang kanchi, bhyaro sanya patiga sanya, nanya manyasa dukkha mitchaya. This is very important. Let not one deceive another or despise any person whatsoever, in any place and anywhere, in anger or ill will. Let him not wish any harm to another. When you are angry with anyone, if you are practicing this metta, don't wish. If you cannot wish him well and happy, don't wish him harm. Understand? And that's the thing. If you cannot wish another person's well and happy because you got angry so much, don't wish him harm. Don't wish him or her harm. Right? Then the real definition of metta comes in the next paragraph. Mata yatha niyang puttang ayusa ekaputta manurakke evampi satta bhutesu manasang bhavaye aparimanang. Just as a mother would protect her only child at the risk of her own life, even so, let one cultivate a boundless heart towards all beings. This is what it says. Let one cultivate. How is metta to be practiced? Like a mother with her only child. This mother will, at the risk of her own life, when the child is sick, she will risk her life to protect the life of this child. Can you have this feeling towards another? It is when you start to have this feeling towards one another, that's what you call real metta. That real compassionate love. You can have this towards your mother, towards your brothers and sisters, towards your friends, as well as your enemies, if you can have that. That's what you call real love. This is what the Buddha taught about love. How we can transcend the kind of sensual kind of love. Mother says she loves the son. Father says, I love my son very much. The son comes after learning Dhamma, the son comes to the mother and father says, Mother, I want to become a monk. Says, no, you don't become a monk. You study and work so that you can get married and produce children and so that you can suffer just as I suffered before. Is that love? Is that real compassionate love? Or is that selfish love? Mother says, Father says, I have worked so hard, I spent so many $1,000 with you, now you become a monk. I have no returns.